Michael, I would imagine it's a case of mixed emotions after that.
I think in the end we made it harder than it needed to be, but I thought for 70 minutes we were fantastic. We had complete control of the game. The match plan, the lads executed the plan, brilliantly. We knew what they'd be, we knew how they'd come, we knew how we could hurt them. And the first goal was like on script. The next ones, we were getting in, and we had complete control of the game. And then you lose a little bit of control after 70 minutes, and we were a bit sloppy on a couple of occasions. All of a sudden it's harder than it's needed to be, but we got over the line, we get the 3 points, and we keep moving on.
You'll be pleased for James Collins, off the mark for another season, and I'm told he's up to 199 now.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, he's getting a bit frustrated because he hasn't scored yet, but the reality is he hasn't had many chances yet. So for him individually, they haven't landed to him so far this season. But I thought he took his everything well, and his penalty was great. And when you 2-0 up and you want someone to take a penalty, it's James Collins you want around the ball, because it's going to go 3, and then like I say, we're in complete control of the game in that moment. And up until that point, I thought everybody performed very, very well.
I'm sure you prefer to talk about your own team, but credit to Plymouth, they certainly didn't pack in, and once they got a goal, they got a sniff.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of mix. I'm a bit mixed on that, because I thought we could have done better in that 70-75 minutes, but then when you give them a goal and their tails are up, they can take risks and cheat outside the game and sort of play with no consequence all of a sudden. At 3-0, at 3-1, they can keep going, but there's no consequence to it. And then when they get the second, then all of a sudden it can become a bit edgy, a bit stressful and a bit emotional. I think I've aged 20 years in the last 10 minutes, but I'm probably a bit like the fans as well. But I thought we made that bit a little bit harder than it needed to be. But credit to the lads, credit to Sonny and Tom Hamer. We flipped to a back 5 just to make sure, stop their width, and we had to move players into positions like Halsey into a position he doesn't usually play. But they did it, and they got it over the line, and they got the 3 points.
Yeah, and football moves so quickly. Here we are a week ago, disappointed at Wimbledon, not the best. It was never going to happen that day. And here you are, you've won at Harrogate, you're in the next round of the Carabao Cup, and you've won 2 out of 3 in the league.
Yeah, I'm pleased with how we started, and you'll always get situations where like a red card really changes the game. I thought at Wimbledon we were just starting to get on top of the game before the red card came, and then the penalty there stops us. So we can't dwell on the negative. If you look at it as a whole and the processes we're confident we have a good solid group of League One experienced players with a sprinkle of youngsters. We definitely need to add to the depth, there's no doubt about that, but I've said that I want to add to the depth, but I'm happy with every young man in the building that's pushing for a position. And when they go out there today and perform like they did in the first 70, some of those players were awesome. And
even so early in the season, an important week coming up with trips to Northampton and Bolton.
Yeah, I think it's a big week, but every game's big. Like every game's 3 points, and like you say, they didn't give up, and they were still pushing for a point. We need to just keep nudging forward and get points on the board. But I think we looked brilliant in our press today. I thought the lads in their first half, the pressure, how much we put them under pressure, and so we keep moving forward and we keep progressing and keep getting better. And I think today it was a great 70 minutes, like I said.